Hello, everyone. A warm welcome to all of you on day 2 of the Career Breakthrough Summit. We had a great day yesterday with multiple presentations. I'm Vijaya Gowrisankar, and I'm here with you for the next 45 minutes as your friend, mentor, and coach through the topic Developing Ourselves for Assessment Days. A little about myself. As I mentioned, I'm Vijaya Gowrisankar, a business leader and a coach. And today we are going to be powering our way to understand how we can develop ourselves for the assessment days. I look forward to your comments, your interactions. A warm welcome to everybody who's joined in. I can see Adele, Donna, and many of you out there. Please leave a message. This is going to be a very interactive session where I would love to learn from you. It's going to be one of at least collective learning. So let's get started. The first question that we want to ask ourselves is, how does your first day of success look like in the organization? You've chosen the organization, you've got through the initial rounds. As you prepare yourself for the assessment day, a very good way is to visualize what success looks like as if you're a part of the organization. Feel that feeling and then prepare yourself. So I would love to know, what does your first day of success look like for you? How do we visualize our success? Let's close our eyes for a minute. Visualize ourselves arriving at our workplace or logging into our workstation. Now you are a key contributor and a part of that organization. Why have you chosen this role? Apart from the many reasons, you've chosen it because your values align with their objective, purpose, and mission. And why have you chosen this organization? Because you will be able to leave a lasting impact in your role and help the organization and yourself grow. It's such a beautiful feeling to envision the success, to look at ourselves living that role. Let's allow that to sink within us, that wonderful feeling of being a part of this organization in a role that will leave an impact. I would like all of you to open your eyes and to come back. Now that we know what success looks like, let's take a few steps back and rate ourselves how we stand today in our preparation for the assessment day. I would love you to rate yourself on a scale of 1 to 10, where 1 is where you are the least prepared, and at 10 you feel the most prepared. Suppose we say we are at a 6. What I'd love you to do is try and understand the gap that is the distance between a 6 and a 10. What does that 10 mean for you? And now that you've rated yourself as a 6, what will it take for you to go from 6 to 10? Let's take a few minutes and just identify that. I feel I'm doing the same thing with you, trying to look within and identify the gap from where I stand today to where I want to go. So now that we know, let's understand through a few questions how we can bridge that gap. If these questions will help us and take us from that 6 to a 10. The first key question is, what research have we done prior to this day? We all know preparation leads us to success. It helps us navigate the uncertainty because in our mind we are prepared for the areas that we feel are certain to happen. That is the key of preparation. And it gives us an innate confidence that we exude. So, what research have you done prior to the assessment day? I'd love to hear your comments. Please share. Action and learning. Absolutely. So these are some of the things that we need to prepare. We need to understand what happens in an assessment day. What are the action items that will come our way? And how can we learn to put our best foot forward in that one opportunity that we have? We've got so far, so definitely we have it in us. So as Adele shares, action and learning are key. What other areas have you researched before that day? As we reflect, I'll share a few high level areas. One is definitely about the organization. The second is the job role itself. The third is where we stand in preparation to the job role. If that takes us forward, is there a gap that we need to bridge between what we know today and what that job role requires of us? And that could mean the tools that will aid us to do our job better. Because every organization is evaluating based on key metrics, as we call key performance indicators, KPIs. And it's more about the outcome and the impact rather than the task itself. So, what are the tools that that role and that organization is perhaps using, and just having an idea about those tools? The Domain is the next key important aspect that we need to prepare ourselves on. If I am going as an IT professional, as Adele shared, self reflection is the key to really understanding where we stand in regard to all of these pillars and what is the preparation and research we need to do to give our best on that day. The domain is equally important. If we are in the financial industry, it's important to understand the nuances and changes that are happening in the financial industry of that country or that region. We need to understand the global or local presence and impact that the organization is making and tie it to the domain and the industry context of that role. The context is again very, very important in an ever changing landscape where tools, procedures, policies, technology, and every other nuance is changing. The context is equally important of that role. And are we ready as we take that leap into the role? Are we ready with the context? And then, as I mentioned, it's all about the impact and the outcome. So, how do we seamlessly synthesize ourselves into that role, in that organization, in the current landscape? And once we have that prepared in our mind, how do we represent and give our assessors the confidence on that assessment day that we are the perfect and the best fit that they have? So it's all about what we bring to the table and the value add that we add, that the assessors are going to assess us on, apart from all the key other areas and factors that they have in their mind. So I hope these areas help you, and I'm sure these some of these or all of these and more are there in your list. With technological advances, it's easier today to bridge this gap. We can now use AI as an aid for us or a tool that will help us accelerate our learning such that we are better prepared for the assessment day. The key the second key aspect is how do we plan to show up on that day? I would love for you to share how you plan to show up. What are some of the key things that you will consider as you prepare to show up on that day? Definitely, how we show up is very, very important. That comes with our presence, the way we have shown up for the role, being well in advance. Sometimes the location is different from the location that we are familiar with. So, how can we go at least a day ahead or maybe an hour ahead and reach the location, beating the odds of traffic and all other uncertainties like climate or any other potential obstacles that we may face on the way? And as we show up, from the minute we are in the vicinity of that assessment center, what is the energy level that we carry with us, and how do we show up and keep the energy levels high throughout the day. An assessment day can be a day long activity, sometimes extending into the late evening or even late night. So, how do we maintain our physical, mental, and energy levels? All of them are very, very important. And if there are any documents that you need to carry with you, do you have everything prepared? Do you have maybe a notebook and a pen? Yes, appearing confident and prepared is very, very important. Coming across as curious, collaborative, and grounded, like Donna says, is really, really important. It's not just about you, it's about you with all other candidates who are out there and in front of your assessors who have just about a day to understand, absorb all the candidates and then make a decision, or at least shortlist the final set of candidates. So, how do you maintain yourself and what do you exude as an individual, as a persona throughout the day? That is equally important. So, any other preparatory documents or anything, if they have shared a checklist, just ensuring that you have everything that is mentioned in the checklist handy and ready with you is very, very important. And now we are in, we have showed up, we've done our preparation, we have walked into the assessment center, and now we are going to face everything that comes our way in, on the assessment day. Generally, it's a standard set of activities, but organizations are getting creative nowadays, and something that you've not prepared for, or you have prepared for, but a different topic, or anything that you had not anticipated, is now going to come your way. I'm ready. Are you? I feel that nervousness that you are exuding, but we are ready. Let's see what comes our way now. Assuming it's about introduction and say there are some group activities, there are some intro exercises to assess your analytical ability, and then, of course, there are presentations that evaluate you. So let's assume that these are the four broad areas in which we will be evaluated on today. As I said, let's go. It's important as we do and do each of the assignments, it's important to just bear in mind what are the core competencies that are being measured. I'd love to know your thoughts. What do you think is being measured? Definitely, it's in the context of the organization, the role, the industry, the presence, everything, right? Everything that we've said. But then on that assessment day, they do have their metric scorecard. But what is it? Or what are the high level areas that they are measuring us on? A good way to think is if I were the assessor and say I have 20, 30, 40 individuals in front of me and I have to just shortlist 5, what are some of the key distinguishing areas that I will be looking for that will help the 5 stand out? It's always good to put ourselves in the other person's shoes and reflect what are the areas that they are looking for. I'd love to hear from you. Definitely critical thinking. Are we thinking differently? Keeping in mind the role, the impact, the organization, the industry scenario, and any other groundwork that we have done. What is it that is distinguishing us and making us stand out? Communication, it is the key. Every aspect of communication, from listening to what we are sharing, to our body language, to the way we've positioned ourselves. Are we interrupting someone? So, all these nuances fall within communication. Are we greeting people with a smile? How are we identifying, say, a conflict scenario? And that beautifully leads us into the next area, which is teamwork. An organization succeeds on its team, a team that is an extension of individuals. Diverse individuals who come together to solve a problem that is in benefit for the organization as a single unit with their own strengths. Each of us come with our own strengths. So we all will be evaluated on the assessment day on our teamwork and our style of working. How are we handling situation? Technology awareness is definitely an edge. Leadership is equally important. Is someone stepping in as a leader if there is no designated leader? Are you just becoming a leader naturally? Professionalism in our verbiage, body language, and everything. This is a professional environment. Whether it's a customer facing role, as Adele mentioned, knowledge, personality, and do you fit in? Yes, the assessor is going to evaluate all of these. If you do not have the knowledge today, are you willing to learn? That is equally important. We may not know everything that an organization requires, but can we come across as that we are willing to learn? So, definitely, professionalism is very, very important. How we've shared our career, and as I mentioned, learning and self development. Equity inclusion is a major part today in all organizations. Some of these are really unstated requirements. So now that we have some idea and we've navigated through all of this, what are some of the areas that we would advise each other? That's important because it's all about collective intelligence. After a point, it's really not about individuals alone. Yes, it's important to collaborate. Like we heard earlier in the comments, collaboration is key. Communication, all aspects of it, including active listening. Authenticity. How can we just bring ourselves, our best selves, and just be who we are? That is important because, as we mentioned, when we visualized our success in this organization, we said this organization role aligns with our value system. And yesterday we heard about values. So, being authentic is really, really important. And everything today is about impact and outcome. In a very rapidly changing ecosystem and fast paced world, Every organization, every industry is putting itself out there to make an impact that lasts in the minds of people. So everything that we say, we share on that day is all with a key focus area of impact that we are creating. As I share that, I really feel that energy within me, that energy shift, that I'm here to make an impact. And that visualization exercise at the start has really set the foundation for it. Now it's important, as Adele mentioned, action and learning. We still have some time till we get to our assessment day. So, what's our action plan and how does it look like? Do we have 7 days, maybe 3 days? How much time do we have before our assessment day? Our action plan will have to be time bound and we have to maximize it. Assuming we have 7 days to go till we show up on that assessment day, let's just distribute the work and preparation that we need to do across these 7 days. A simple way of doing it is a day-wise plan. You can do whatever works for you. Maybe you will cover everything, 2 or 3 areas in a day. It's always what works for each of us. In that, definitely, we need to analyze, research, develop some key skills, understanding the gap that we mentioned on a scale of 1 to 10 that we evaluated ourselves on at the start of this interaction. Some prep work in terms of a team play, a role play, maybe with a friend, or if we have no one, maybe the mirror, but it's important. There could be AI tools as well that can help us in this preparation today. How do we prepare? Say, if we have a presentation, how are we delivering the presentation? How can we prepare, say, on one, two, multiple topics? And mindset is perhaps something that we will have to inculcate and practice every day. It's not just an area for a single day. And this is something that we'll have to carry forward lifelong. And confidence on that day, and how do we just step into that role? Beating the last minute anxieties. And definitely, if you need to travel elsewhere for this assessment day, how do you get your tickets, everything ready, boarding, lodging, you know, where are you going to have breakfast, all of that taken care of. So the more we prepare, the more we leave our brain and focus open to the decision making and uncertainties that come during the assessment, rather than experiencing decision fatigue earlier itself as we step into the assessment center. So prepare, prepare, prepare. That is the key. I'm absorbing each of these. Let me know how you feel and if it resonates with you. And what are our key takeaways? We've prepared with purpose and we've performed with presence. Revisit and redo your action plan multiple times. So it's not about one time creating that action plan. It's also about visiting it at the end of, say, each 4 hours or at the end of the day, depending on how much time you have. to see, are you on track? Are there certain areas where I need to give more time? Do I need to prepare and focus on certain areas a little more than the others because those are areas that I may not have encountered in my previous work? And some areas we can maybe ace, we will just ace because we are so familiar with it. Suppose you are very, your earlier job required you to prepare a lot of presentations and deliver. So maybe the presentation area may be an area that you need to prepare a little less. And if you've never been in a group discussion or an intro exercise, maybe you will have to time box yourself there and prepare more for those. So, revisiting the action plan is very, very important. Absolutely. And I love this that Donna always says enjoy the process. Preparation, breathe, enjoy the process. You are here to succeed. You will. We visualize that success. Let's just be ourselves and do our best. Because collectively, we all have prepared. So we're all ready for impact. It's a very beautiful shift to look from an action plan to a connection plan. On that day, with the assessors and with all the candidates, some of you whom you will meet again, you may meet again, and most of them whom you may never meet again. Yet, how do we form that connection? Even if it's for a brief period, even if it's for that 1 hour in which you are in a group together, how can we make a connection? So we've started by envisioning success, and we can envision success at every single point. We've designed our presence. Similarly, for every exercise and every activity during your break time, you can design your presence. Breathe, manage your energy, get back in zone. We've prepared. Thank you, Donna. We've prepared now, and now we are ready. Every single time, we have to tell ourselves we are prepared. We will do our best. And we will showcase the competencies that we have. It will come out through our personality, our expertise, whatever we've spent time learning, preparing, and being our authentic self, being just ourselves. What does success look like? Success looks different for each of us. We've taken intentional and purposeful action. That is important. We've managed our presence. We've not let the outside world and anything happening on the outside or on the inside impact us. We have put our best foot forward and we have managed our presence. We have demonstrated the impact and we've given our best performance. We have connected the dots. And the one thing that we take with us is I will perform my best. First on the assessment day, then for each task. And it's natural, maybe we'll get rattled or we'll get a little unsettled. It's important to bounce back. So those techniques are equally important. So how do you prepare yourself to bounce back in case you've not done well in a particular area? Or maybe you just felt that I've gone off track. So how can I just close my eyes, take a deep breath, just pat myself, say just on my hands and say, all good, all well, I'm back. That's equally important. Not everything will go the way we've designed it or thought in our minds. most often it will not be the same. So, how do we just bounce back? It's also about collective learning. When we observe people around us, there is so much that we can learn from them. When we interact with people, there is so much that we can learn from them. We can see some good qualities in them, and you will be like, wow. And if that is something, that small tweak or that small shift that you can do, then go ahead and incorporate that. Sometimes it's just a smile that requires the shift in energy. It's just a deep breath. Thank you so much for joining me today. I hope this was helpful with some guidelines and some pointers and questions that we can really evaluate ourselves on. I wish you success and the very best in everything that you aspire for. And I am just a message away. The QR code is on your screen. That is of my LinkedIn account. Please just drop a message, and I can be your coach, helping you find your way from where you are to where you want to be for your assessment day and any other area that I can be of help for. As Donna mentioned, responding versus reacting, that is very, very important. Are we responding, or are we just getting carried away by emotion and we are just reacting? And in case we do that, how can we just compose ourselves and get back? Every nuance, everything is important. Not just to in the assessor's eyes, but in your eyes. Because as human beings, we always come back and reflect and retrospect. It is in our nature. So when you come back and reflect and retrospect, along with everything that you feel that you could improve on, I want you to bring back everything that you did great, every small nuance that you did very well. That is equally important. Regardless of that outcome, please celebrate yourself. It isn't easy, and you've done your best. If there are key learnings, we will do better again the next time. I wish you the success, love, and I'm just a message away. Thank you for your presence, your undivided attention today. I learned a lot from you. There are a lot of sessions lined up today and tomorrow. I hope they you are there for all those sessions, encouraging the speaker, the coach, and you find value in them. From this entire unit, I wish you a very good evening, and thank you for being there today.